Hello, welcome. It's Monday again. That means time for a new chair yoga session. I hope you're all well. Welcome if this is the first time you're joining us. So my name is Chrisi, which most of you know, of course, and I'm going to be leading us through a 40-minute chair yoga session. So chair yoga is suitable for anyone and everyone. We're going to stay seated for the whole session, so it's suitable if you have any mobility issues. I myself am pregnant, so I certainly am starting to have quite a lot of mobility issues. And this is actually one of the few types of yoga that I can still do comfortably and relatively easily. So take it super easy. If there's anything that we do during our session that doesn't work for you, anything that doesn't feel right, then please listen to your body. Take a break. Don't push into anything that doesn't feel right. It's just yoga. There's no need to get to add more discomfort to our lives. We don't need that. So it's a rather grey day. You might just be seeing it starting to rain, the rain coming against the window. So it's actually quite a nice day to be inside and do a nice yoga session. So step one, let's make sure we are comfortable. So we want to be sitting on a chair. Make sure it's a comfortable chair or as comfortable as possible. You can have a chair without arms, like I am choosing to, or a chair with arms if that's better for you and giving you more stability. So I've got one without, that just gives me a bit more freedom to move. But if you have a chair with arms, that is equally possible and perfectly doable. Good. The second thing we want to make sure is that we are warm enough, cool enough. I don't know how warm it is where you are here. Today is a rather, well, it's not too cold, but it's also not a very pleasant day. So I've got a little extra layer. If you feel comfortable having a blanket over your lap, then go for it. I'm practicing without socks, but you might equally keep your socks on, or you might even keep your shoes on. So whatever you feel comfortable with is just perfect. And then finally, if you can, just removing any distractions that you can remove from your space for the next 35-40 minutes only. So turning your phone onto silent, maybe closing a door, turning off radio, television, um, closing windows if it's quite noisy where you are. So we can create that space where we can just focus on ourselves, on our body, and our breathing. This is what it's all about. So let's get comfortable. So shuffle back on your chair until your whole back is supported by the chair. So that means we can soften into the belly, we can soften into the lower back. Then roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And turn the palms facing upwards towards the ceiling, resting on your lap. Maybe drawing the palms closer towards your body so the shoulders can sink away from the ears. A little bit more. Allowing the eyes to close if you feel comfortable, or take a low gaze down towards your feet. And then let's start by taking a few slow breaths together. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale, breathe out through the mouth. Slow breath in. And then a big gentle sigh out. And one more. And on that last exhalation, let your belly soften entirely. Letting go of any tension in your body that you don't need right now. Let the shoulders move away from the ears a little bit more. Let your feet sink down into the earth. Soften across the forehead. And then allow yourself these few moments at the start of the session before we begin to move, just to settle. Maybe you've had a busy morning or a busy few days behind you. Maybe your mind is still active. Your thoughts are jumping around. And if that's the case, then know that this is perfectly normal. Observe the thoughts. And let's see if our thoughts are about the future or the past. So are we thinking ahead? Are we making plans? Are we going through mental to-do lists? Or are the thoughts about something that's already happened? Maybe reliving a certain moment in your mind, replaying it, maybe giving yourself a hard time of what you did or didn't do, things you should or shouldn't have done. And as soon as you've noticed whether it is a thought about the future or the past, let's see if we can bring the awareness down to our breath. And you may need to do this a few times. And after a few moments, once we are gone through labeling those thoughts, you might notice that it becomes a little bit easier to be present. And in case it doesn't, then don't worry, but continuously trying to label those thoughts and then coming back to the present moment. And we have to do this quite often, especially if you have a busy mind. So let's take another few rounds of breath here. And let's take a slow, deep breath in through the nose. And a gentle sigh out. Let that go. And bring a little wriggle into your fingers and your toes. Maybe start by just drawing your thumbs across the tips of your fingers, letting your toes gently move in your shoes or socks or along the floor. Noticing temperature of the surface beneath you, the texture. Is it soft? Is it hard? And then making the movements bigger, allowing your wrists and your ankles to join in, maybe your head too. And then let yourself slowly come back into stillness. But if you want to, extending the fingertips down towards the earth, maybe straight ahead or up above your head to take a long, big stretch. Good. So whichever way stretching feels, especially if you are mindful of any shoulder issues, don't overdo it. And then bring the palms down onto your lap for a moment. We're still staying seated back on our chair just for a moment longer, because today I want to start with a bit of opening across the shoulders. So the shoulders, and especially the area around our neck, are so prone to tension. The shoulder is the most mobile joint in the body. And because of that, it is so prone to injury. It is so prone to just hold a lot of tension. So go as far in those poses as it feels good for you. Starting by releasing the left fingertips down towards the earth. Release the fingertips down to the earth, and then very slowly let your right ear fall down towards your right shoulder. And you may be able to let the head fall down quite a lot or only a little bit. If this is too strong, which it might be, then just take that reach out of your left fingertips and just let the arm sink down. The more we reach, the stronger you might find the stretching sensation across the side of the neck will be. Good. And then see how you feel here. If this is enough, hold it here. If you want a little bit more, we can draw our chin over towards our right shoulder. So notice how the sensation moves a little bit further up your neck. And as a final stage, if you want to, take your right hand, slide it over into your left side of the neck, and just give the side of your neck and your shoulder a little squeeze, a little rub. It's probably been quite a while since any of us have had a massage, a very long time. So sometimes just taking a moment and giving ourselves that little massage can feel really nice. Feel free to close your eyes so you can really notice which part of your neck, your shoulders needs that extra attention right now. You can make this a gentle squeeze or stroke or make it a bit more vigorous. Last inhale. And then exhale, release your right hand, release your chin back down to the chest, and then bring your left hand onto your lap. And with your head soft here, take a moment to let that settle. Drawing the head back up into an upright position. And maybe still with your eyes closed, observe if you can feel the difference between the left side and the right side. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And then let's move on to the other side. So extending the right fingertips down to the mat, towards the earth. And be mindful, if you're right-handed, this side is going to feel a lot stronger. So go slowly. Let your left ear sink down towards your left shoulder, as far as it feels good. Remember, you can take that reach out of your right fingertips if it's too much. Take a few moments, a few breaths, let the head get heavy. Good. And then the option of going a little bit further, drawing the chin over towards your left shoulder. And as a final step, take your left hand, bring it over onto the right shoulder, and then give yourself that little rub. And again, just be curious here. With your eyes closed, explore how your neck and your shoulder feels. This side might feel a bit more tension, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's the opposite for you. Last breath here. And then a slow breath out. Release both hands back onto your lap. Let the chin roll into the chest. And then slowly stacking it back up. One vertebra at a time. Come back into an upright position. Good. Blink your eyes open if they're closed. And then if you want to have a bit more of an active practice today, move yourself away from the back of the chair. So shuffle, shuffle, shuffle yourself away so we can find that upright position. Check that your knees and ankles are in line. So we've got a nice, strong, firm base here. Press the hands gently into your lap and then use that pressure to grow through the spine. So we're growing really nice and tall, finding a sense of activation through the lower belly and also through the pelvic floor. So our core muscles activate slightly. And we don't want to squeeze or hold too much here. It is really just a slight activation. Good. And then hold it there. Take a slow breath in. And slow breath out. Release the arms by the side of the body. Inhaling, reach the arms tall. Maybe allow the gaze to lift. Exhale, bring the palms through heart center, lower down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, open wide. Exhale to lower. Good. If your neck allows, you can follow your hands with your gaze. Inhaling, lift. Exhale to lower. Release the hands onto your knees. And then draw the knees towards you. So the chest lifts forwards and we're finding a slight arch in the spine. Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. Inhaling, draw yourself forwards, open the heart. Exhale, chin to chest, round the spine. So this movement is called cat and cow. Inhaling, draw yourself forwards. Exhale, chin to chest. We're going to round the spine like a cat. Good. Do 2 more. Kind of moving back to center. So whenever I move sideways in the poses, it's just for you to be able to see better. So there's no need for you to move onto the side. And then come back to center in an upright position. Beautiful. Keep your left hand where it is. Next inhale, we're going to float the right arm up towards the ceiling. Grow tall. If this is not good for your shoulders, you can reach the arm forward or you can just keep the arm down on your knee. Exhaling, sink it over towards your left. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale to sink. So we're going to sway in and out of this side body stretch. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, come to the side and keep your right hip really firmly grounded into the chair. So we don't want to start to sink over. Last time, exhale, sink it over. Inhale back to center and then swap sides. Floating the opposite arm up, grow tall. Inhaling here. Exhale, flowing over to the side, keeping your left sitting bone grounded. 2 more. 3 more, in fact. So we're staying nice and even. Good. Continue to move here. Going to the side, feeling that opening in the side body. And remember, if your shoulders are not happy, the arm reaches forwards or the arm stays down on your knee. Last time, sink it over. Back to center. And then release the arm back down. Good. Draw the shoulders up to the ears and back and down. So final mobilization for our upper body, for our spine, is a rotation. And we're going to move into a slightly deeper version of the twist. But again, lots of stages so you can choose. Option 1, which is a great option if you have any issues with your hips, then take your left leg and cross it in front of the right. Option 2, if your knees and your hips feel happy with it, you can take your left leg and cross it on top of the right. So this is option 2. Option 3, and this is only if your hips are super happy, you want a bit more, you can draw your left ankle on top of the right knee and let the knee come out to the side. So this will add a nice juicy hip stretch to our twist. So your choice. I'm going to go for option 1, so crossing my left leg in front of the right. Take your right hand, slide it over onto the left knee. Take the left arm, swing it behind you, and then either grab hold of the back of the chair or slide the arm behind you. Growing tall, take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to slowly begin to draw your left shoulder behind you. Allow the gaze to follow. Inhaling, growing tall. Exhale, maybe moving another millimeter or 2 into the twist. It's really just a very subtle movement. Close your eyes. Listening to the body, how that twist feels. Twist should feel great. They should feel freeing for the spine. If it doesn't, then do come out of the pose. Last breath in here. Slow breath out. Release. Release the hands. Come back to center. Let's take a quick counter rotation onto the other side. So we're going to bring the arms up into a cactus shape and then rotating over towards the right. Very gently. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release. Uncross your feet. So the visualization I really like is a sponge that's filled with water, and we're trying to squeeze it out. And then as we release, that frees up lots of space for fresh blood, fresh nutrients, everything to flow back to our spine. Good. Swapping sides, take your variation. The right leg crosses in front of the left. Left leg crosses on top of the right leg crosses on top of the left. Or last option, if that worked for you on the other side, bringing your right ankle on top of the left knee and the knee gently moving down. So take your pick. I'm going to stick with my option 1 here. Sliding the left hand over onto the right knee. Right arm swings behind you. Find length in the spine. So the arm behind you creates a bit of scaffolding for the spine. So we're nice and tall. And as you exhale, begin to draw your right shoulder behind you. Allow the gaze to follow. Inhaling, growing a little bit taller. Exhale, gentle twist. Last 2. Last breath in. Slow breath out. Release. Come back to center. Bring the arms up, cactus shape. Counter rotation towards the other side. Inhaling back to center. Release the arms, uncross the feet, and give your ankles, your feet a little shimmy and a little shake. Let's walk out those feet here for a moment. Good. So I'm just going to turn sideways. You can see we're just lifting one heel and then the other, as if we are going for a little walk on the spot. Just so we are warming up into our ankles, into the toes, encouraging fresh blood to go down to our toes. It's a great little exercise to improve circulation. If you have cold feet, I probably say this every session. So apologies if you do join along regularly. You're probably getting a bit bored of this, but it is very, very effective. And even if you, don't necessarily have any mobility issues, as a human race, we spend too much time sitting. So anything that interrupts this staleness is a great thing. So if you have to work at a desk a lot in front of a computer, this is a great little exercise to do. Maybe once every hour, once every few hours for a minute, just walk on the spot. And then let the heels come back down. Whew. Just noticing there's a sense of tingling now in our heels and our feet. And before we go further, let's bring the feet a tiny bit further apart. It's a little bit wider than hip distance, so you can maybe see your toes. If your toes are in socks or in shoes, don't worry. We still want to have that visual pathway down towards our feet. And then we're going to spread the toes a little bit wider and then ground them down into the floor beneath you, into the surface beneath you. Keeping the rest of the feet really grounded, we're just going to begin to move our toes. And this is going to feel really awkward if you're not used to doing it. That's okay. The toes are really, what's the word? Underestimated? No, underappreciated. Underappreciated part of our body. They are so important for our balance. They're so important for the health and the strength of our feet. And if you have things like bunions, your feet are getting slightly out of line, you will really appreciate this. So this is going to probably feel quite hard for all of us, including myself, but we're going to try anyway. So let's invite a sense of humor. If it doesn't work, it's okay too. Keeping the feet grounded, let's lift all 10 toes away from the mat. Just the toes, keep the rest of the feet grounded and check that the feet are not starting to roll in or roll out. So the full base of the feet stays grounded. Now let's lower just the big toes down to the mat. Keep the rest of the toes lifted. And even if the rest of the toes are like, what is going on? What do they want from me? Try it anyway, even if they don't move. Inhaling, lift the big toes. Now exhale, we're going to lower just the little toes, and I'm going to illustrate with my hands here. Just the pinky toes grounding down. Rest of the toes still lifted. Notice how this is actually quite hard. It may be sort of verging on a sensation of a cramp in your feet. So if you're reaching the cramping stage, you've gone too far. Inhaling, lift the little toes and then lower the toes and rotate out your ankles. Okay, let's do that again. A little bit faster and with a little bit of added difficulty. Keep the feet grounded. Inhaling, lift all 10 toes. Exhale, ground for the big toes. Inhaling, lift the big toes. Exhale, ground for the little toes. Inhaling, lift the little toes. Exhale. This time we're going to ground for the big toes and the little toes, keeping the middle 3 toes lifted. And if you can reach your toes, you might even want to give them a helping hand because they're probably not cooperating. Inhaling, lift all 10 toes. Now this time, let's see if we can lower just the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, but keep your big toe and your little toe lifted. And that is probably impossible for most of us. Lowering the feet and then release and walk it out and let it go. So if you observe children or babies, they're incredibly tactile with their toes. They can pick up things, they can do stuff, they can move them in all sorts of ways. And as we get older, we lose these neural pathways. Now, that is just normal. That's what happens. But the good news is we can re-establish them. When I first did this exercise, my toes didn't want to move at all. And now, and I have to admit, it is probably a good few years that I've been practicing this, I can move them. It's always good to have a backup. If you need to write birthday cards, soon you can use your toes for it. Good. Let's let that go. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, and come into an upright position. Close your eyes for a moment. And just take a moment to check that we are still connected with our center. So the pelvic floor is active. The lower belly is active. Take a nice breath in and a slow breath out. Good. Blink the eyes open again. Slide your hands behind your left leg and come onto the ball of the left toes. A little bit of leg strengthening exercise now. So take it as far as it feels good for you. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to draw the knee up into the body. So we want to check that we're not starting to lean back here. The toes may be lifted and just a couple of inches off the floor. They might be quite high. Now for me, my belly is getting in the way, so my knee is not lifting very high. Take a nice inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to extend the legs away from the body, holding it as far away from the body as feels good. And then bend the knee again to release. Inhaling, extend the leg out, kicking with the heel. Exhale to lower. Your leg maybe lifted towards parallel of the floor or lower. It doesn't matter. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Good. I'm going to turn sideways this way so you can see that we're not leaning back here. So if we're starting to lean back, then do come up and maybe just lift the leg just a little bit less. Good. Next time we're going to inhale, extend the legs out, and we're going to hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, lower it down, and give your thigh a little squeeze, a little shake. Good. So the reason why we want to avoid that leaning back is because we want to use our leg muscles, our core muscles, to create that lift and not our back. Good. Not the fact that we're leaning back. Swapping sides. So grab hold of your right leg from behind. Come into the ball of the foot. Check that you've got that connection with the center. Take an inhale. Exhaling, slowly lifting it away. And then inhaling, extend the heel away. Exhale, draw it in. Good. We're going to do 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. This is not about speed, so take your time. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Really using the muscles through the legs. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. And next time we extend, we're going to hold for 3 with a smile. 2, 1. Lower down and then give your leg a rub. Give your thigh a squeeze. Let that go. Walk out the feet and let's take a forward fold just to let go of any tension we're holding here. So bring the feet a little bit wider. Forearms come down onto the knees. Let the head sink down. Let your belly soften. If it feels like you have the space, bring your hands down onto the floor. Maybe down onto your feet. Now for me again, the floor is definitely not in reach anymore. So prioritizing feeling comfortable here about over how far you want to go. Softening the belly, softening the lower back. Take a slow breath in. And a big sigh out. 1 more inhale. And a sigh. And then slowly, slowly walk your hands back up the legs. Back into an upright position. Bring your feet a little bit closer together again. And then roll the shoulders up, back and down. Good. Now we're going to move through a sequence together. That's called the sun salutations. And in yoga, in the very many different traditions of yoga, there is probably hundreds of variations of this sequence. Now this is just my sequence. So join in. If you know the sequence, you can practice with your eyes closed. If you're not quite sure yet, take a peek. We're going to take 2 rounds. The first one, maybe have a look. And for the second one, if you want to join the second round, maybe try and keep your eyes closed so you can let your breath be the guide. And the breath is really the key here. So let's close the eyes so we can find the breath again. Taking an inhale. Exhale, open the mouth, side out. Let's do that again. Inhale. And a sigh. And then close the mouth. Breathe in through the nose if that feels good for you. And out through the nose. Blink the eyes open. Inhaling, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, draw the palms down through heart center. 2 more. Inhaling, growing tall. Exhale, bring it down. 1 more time. Exhale to release. Release the hands into the knees. Cat and cow. Inhale, draw the chest forward. Cow posture. Lift the gaze. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding the spine. Inhale, draw the chest forward 1 more time. Exhale, find a forward fold. Bring the forearms onto the knees. Let the head hang heavy. If the floor is in reach, bring the hands down onto the floor. Take an inhale. And an exhale. Let's find a twist. Next inhale, reach your left fingertips up to the ceiling. Or take a little half twist like I'm demonstrating. Exhale to lower. Inhaling, right fingertips reaching up or half twist. Exhale to lower. Inhale, walk the hands back up the thighs. Draw the chest forward, open the heart. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding the spine. Inhaling, reach the palms high, growing tall. Exhale, draw the hands through heart center. Close the eyes as your palms pass your face and release the hands onto your lap. Let's take 3 breaths here. And slow exhale. Slow breath in. And slow breath out. Last one, inhale. And exhale. And if you want to join me for a second round, inhaling, release the arms, growing tall. Exhale, draw it down. 2 more. Inhaling, lift. Exhale to release. Last one, inhale. Exhale, ground it down. Bring the hands into the knees. Inhale, draw the chest forward, lift the heart. Exhale, chin to chest, cat posture. Inhale, draw the chest forward, open the heart. Exhale, fold forwards, bring your hands into the knees, maybe all the way down to the floor. Release your head. Take an extra breath in and a slow breath out. Inhaling, the left fingertips reach up. Find a twist, full twist, half twist, whatever works for you. Exhale to fold. Inhaling, opposite fingertips reaching high. Exhale to lower. And then inhaling, walk the hands back up the knees. Draw the chest forward, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding the spine. Inhaling, grow tall, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center, allow the eyes to close. And release the hands onto your lap. Take a slow breath in. And a slow breath out. 2 more. And at the end of that last exhalation, allow yourself to sink back, shuffle back on your chair to find that support for your back. Palms back into our starting position, facing up towards the ceiling. And if you want to this time, walking the feet further away from the body to let the thighs sink all the way down into the floor. Take any moves, any wriggles, maybe a sip of water and a blanket. So we can be comfortable for the final few minutes of our practice, our relaxation, which is the most important part of the practice. It's the part where we allow the body to rest and to absorb the benefits of the movement we've been doing. Take a slow breath in. And a big sigh out. Slow inhale. And exhale. One more breath in. And slow breath out. And on that exhale, once again, let your body get heavy, letting go of any muscular effort you're holding. Bring the awareness onto your breath. Let's just observe the breath for a few rounds with a sense of curiosity. Feeling the gentle rise in the body as you inhale. And the sensation of softening as you exhale. Observe that for a few more rounds. And as soon as you notice that the mind has drifted off, bring the awareness back. And very slowly let the awareness drift down the body from your breath into the sole of the right foot. Releasing the top of the right foot, right toes, ankle, lower leg, right knee, right upper leg, and the right side of the hip. Softening the sole of the left foot, top of the left foot, left toes, ankle, lower leg, left knees, left upper leg, and the left side of the hip. Releasing across the belly, into the lower back, middle back, upper back. Soften the right shoulder, right upper arm, elbow, lower arm, top of the right hand, palm of the right hand, right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Releasing across the chest into the left shoulder, left upper arm, elbow, lower arm, top of the left hand, palm of the left hand, left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Releasing all the way up the neck, across the throat, softening the jaw, the tongue, cheeks, nose, eyes, and forehead. And then allow yourself to rest here for a few moments, allowing the body to be soft and the mind to be present. And if you notice that the mind is drifting away, gently and with a sense of kindness, invite it back. And very slowly, without moving or changing anything, allow the awareness to come back into the room you are in right now. Noticing any sounds around you. Counting as many sounds as you can find. And then noticing again the breath, and this time very slowly begin to deepen your breath. Taking a few deeper breaths. With every inhalation, just inviting a little bit more air into the body. And then let's find a wriggle through the fingers and the toes. Make that wriggle bigger. And then on your next inhalation, take the fingertips away from the body, stretching it away from the body, maybe all the way up to the ceiling. And allow yourself to stretch, waking up the body from the inside, ready for a beautiful rest of the day ahead of you. And then lowering the palms together in front of heart center. Still keeping the eyes closed or a low gaze. And invite a sense of gratitude towards yourself for making the effort, taking this time in your day to practice. Let's honor that. Let's honor our bodies and, of course, each other. Find a gentle bow of your head towards the heart center. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I hope you're feeling nice and relaxed, ready to conquer the rest of the day, or maybe you feel ready for a nap. Either way, listen to your body. Now, if you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, do get in touch. It's always lovely to hear from you. So those of you who've been coming for a while, you've of course got my email address, so feel free to reach out. If you haven't, just look for Blackheath Yoga, and we have got a little contact form on our website that you can get in touch with. It's always lovely to hear. I know by now our little chair yoga community, which has started here in Blackheath in Southeast London, has grown quite a bit, and we've got people joining from all over the world. As far as San Francisco is the furthest, I think. So yeah, you're always welcome. Every week we will have a new session. For now, though, I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you again next week. Bye bye.